The third and final race here at a glorious Cadwell Revival 2022. The crowds flocking into this event. Very, very hot ambient temperature. Track very hot. They line up now to do battle. And can this pair, Blackstock and Rosny, put it over this pair, the Christie brothers riding the number 34? Well, it remains to be seen. But once again in pole position, Todd Ellis and Emmanuel Clement get their heads down. The lights come in. The lights are on, the lights are off, the clutches are dumped, and away they go then, up to Coppice for the first time in this final race. And George Holden's got a cracking start. George Holden, Oscar Lawrence, alongside the Christies and into third place. Now that's a great start for Holden and Lawrence on the only Kawasaki in the race. But out in front, Blackstock and Rosny have got their noses ahead of Ellis and Clement, but not for long, I wonder. Up to Park, sweeping through on the inside. Ellis and Clement not to be outdone. Look at the crowd around the back. Look at the cars all the way around the back of the circuit. There's been a lot of paddock activity. We've had classic parades. We've had some brilliant, brilliant stuff over this thoroughly entertaining weekend. At the Gooseneck then, Blackstock and Rosny on the Express Tyre Services Yamaha. Need to do something in this one. 2 third places, not enough for them if they have any championship aspirations. Conversely, the crew ahead of them, double maximum so far, and it ain't looking very different in this one, although there's a long way to go in this third and final race at Cadwell. Look at the people on the left on the grandstand. Paul Ben sweeping through, the right-hander then of the old hairpin. What a magnificent shot from the onboard camera. Oh dear, back end got loose, and through into second place goes George Holden. So Blackstock got it wrong there, almost locked up, the back end broke away at the old hairpin, and that cost him dear. Kevin Cable going through, Rupert Archer going through, Craig Clark going through, the number 17. Into second place then, it's Holden and Lawrence. A couple of weeks ago at Brands Hatch, and prior to that they just had not been on the podium. Then they were on the podium, they've never looked back since. Definitely improved over the 2022 season, just as the Christies have improved. Sam and Tom Christie, number 34, now in fourth place. In third place, it's Blackstock and Rosny down in second place, George Holden, Oscar Lawrence. But out in front, you can just see them down at the bottom of the gooseneck, disappearing into Mansfield, Todd Ellis and Emmanuel Clement. Look at these three, though. This is where the race is. And further back behind them, there's a battle going on. Rob Biggs running strongly again with Simon Robinson there. But Blackstock closing. He needs that second place back again. He needs better than that, but I don't think he's going to get it. Not at this stage in the race anyway. Magnificent shots through the woods. Paul Benz, old hairpin. That's where he got it wrong. That's where he lost that huge amount of time and allowed the number 93 Blue Bike, that one, through into second place. Great way to round out 3 races here at the 2022 Cadwell Sidecar Revival. Kevin Cable going through, Rupert Archer going through, Craig Clark going through, further down the order, but Rob Biggs and Simon Robinson having a fairly lonely ride out there, 5th and 6th respectively. But this is where the action is. Waiting any time now for the Christies to get their nose in front. I wonder when it's going to happen. But these guys, Blackstock and Rosny, Lewis and Paddy, have got their own agenda, and that is to hunt down the youngsters in front. And George Holden has really taken over the mantle of his illustrious father John in being the quick guy on the long bike, and look how quick they are. several podiums on their way to here at Cadwell, and if they stay where they are now, this will be an all-time career best finish for them. Runner-up spot to the couple that are undoubtedly now the fastest sidecar racers in the world, having smashed the lap record here twice. Earlier race today and again yesterday on Saturday. That lap record now standing at 1:31.617. Well, they're not on lap record pace today. They don't need to. Kevin Cable going through. Just dropping off the back a little bit now, Craig Clark. Sam Christie looking on the inside and going through. Oh, Blackstock not having any of that. Not going to let him. He knows that the last thing he wants to be is behind the Christie boys, because he's already got his own agenda, and that is to hunt down the outfit in front. There's Rob Biggs and Jason Pitt, the number 5 crew, by their own admissions, not having a good weekend here at Cadwell Park. The bike simply not right. And he actually mentioned to me, well, if I can't get it right, then I won't be going to Thruxton. And that will be a real shame, because we're not doing that well for entries at Thruxton. We need to get the grids up. Indeed, it's been something of a malaise all the way through the 2022 season. At national and indeed international level, grid sizes, people have had a different mindset. There's been a bit of a perfect storm with Brexit, COVID, and then latterly, of course, the Ukraine war, and it's changed an awful lot of things on the international scene. Made it difficult to travel, incurred extra costs for most of these guys. Back to the track action though, in the glorious sunshine, hardly a cloud in the sky here in Lincolnshire. And look at the people all the way round this circuit. That's the beauty of Cadwell Park. You can bring your car and park trackside. I don't want to be sitting in my car on a day like this. Here we go again. Sam Christie up the inside of Blackstock. This time is he going to make it work? Blackstock then has gone wide and he's lost the place. He's lost the place. Down into 4th now, Lewis Blackstock and Paddy Rosney. Well, these boys need to pull something out of the bag. Thruxton will take us to the halfway stage in the championship. And there's work to be done before we get to the finale at Brands Hatch. Todd Ellis is doing a good day's work here. Absolutely on a mission. He and Emmanuel Clement strongly looking with Rupert Archer now, number 70. He and Phil Hyde on the back of Kevin Cable and Charlie Richardson. Whether we will see Kevin and Charlie at Thruxton, I'm not sure, because Thruxton is something of a bête noire for Charlie Richardson, and indeed for many of the passengers. It is a physically demanding and very scary place with its high speed and grippy track. But over the mountain at Cadwell, they're looking really, really good. You can see there's not that much room for overtaking going into the woodland section. It's very much a case of follow the leader, as these guys are following their leader, that leader being George Holden and this young man, Oscar Lawrence. You're getting a great bird's eye view there. Sam and Tom Christie want that place. They can see that championship lead evaporating now, which it is, because Todd Ellis and Emmanuel Clement are on target for maximum points, the championship lead, just as they are leading the FIM Sidecar World Championship. Is the double on for the Santander Salt Yamaha Anglo-French pairing? Well, if they keep riding the way they're riding, I would say there's a very, very good chance. But these guys have their own ideas about that. The Christie boys now closing right on the back of Holden, and that's given Blackstock and Rosney the opportunity to close again. So these three then, line astern, you could really, really get them in the back of a small truck. I know I've used that. Oh, look at that! What is that about? Into the bottom of the mountain. Lewis Blackstock up the inside of Sam Christie. Christie shakes the head. I saw a similar move a few years ago between the Birchells and Reeves, and they got away with it. Not so these boys. Blackstock and Rosney have got away with it, but there's damage on the nose of the outfit. They're on the grass and they are away many seconds adrift. That has given a massive cushion to George Holden and Oscar Lawrence in second place, and we are on board with them now. And I don't think anyone's going to take this away from them if the Kawasaki keeps going. Biggs and Pitt out of it. Hopefully Biggs will collect himself for Thruxton, get the bike sorted. But one thing we've not been denied is good racing at the front. Good action, spectacular demonstration of high-speed riding from this pair. And of course the three behind them fought race long, tooth and nail. But what an epic ride for the number 93 Kawasaki of George Holden and Oscar Lawrence. Now safe in the knowledge that if the bike keeps going, they are going to bring it home with an all-time career best podium finish. They will be thoroughly delighted with that. Sam and Tom Christie, well, they'll be a little bit disgruntled, I suspect, but by the same token, you cannot blame Lewis Blackstock for going for it. He had nothing to lose and everything to gain, except what he did not want to do was make contact. And that is a very narrow place at the bottom of the mountain. There is not a lot of room. Looking backwards now from Emmanuel Clement, the checkered flag, and it's easy peasy, lemon squeezy over the line for Todd Ellis and Emmanuel Clement. 3 out of 3, maximum points, lap records along the way. The sun shone on the righteous, and they had a great Cadwell revival. Into Barn then, and down over the start finish for Holden and Lawrence, runners up here. Fantastic racing. It's third for Sam and Tom Christie, and a long way back, fourth place, Blackstock. There it is, Cable, Archer, retirements, Biggs and Robertson Fairhurst out of it too. 8 finishers, that's your lot, but what a race. Lewis Blackstock, Paddy Rosney, mixed fortunes overall the weekend though. You're doing what you needed to do, keep scoring reasonable points and good points.
Yeah, we're just trying to get the bike set up out to how we want it, and we've had a bit of trouble with it, so we just need to keep finishing now and just keep plodding away.
Started the season really strongly, of course runners up last year. You don't want to be runners up this year, do you?
Someone told me it's all a game of maths. Unfortunately we're losing at the minute, so yeah, we have to pull our fingers out now for the rest of the season.
Sam and Tom Christie, this was the weekend, revival weekend, that the championship changed its face just a little bit. Not a bad weekend for you, but not a good last race.
No, we had a coming together in the last race, but we've been happy with the pace. We're getting a bit closer to Todd. We're slightly quicker over a race than Lewis at the minute. So yeah, everything's going in the right direction.
Did George Holden's speed surprise you in that last race? He got a cracking start and was holding everybody up just a bit, I think.
Yeah, he's riding brilliant at the minute. You know, it's so difficult to pass, but yeah, credit to him and Oscar are doing a great job. So yeah, we'll try harder and see if we can get in front of him next time.
George Holden, Oscar Lawrence, let's sum up the weekend. A few weeks ago we were talking about your first podium. Now you've never been off the podium, and now first, second place. Brilliant.
Yeah, no, that'll do. We knew Sam and Lewis were a bit quicker than us, but got a quick bike and managed to keep them held off for a few laps, so yeah, dead happy with that. That
was the secret, Oscar, wasn't it? Your phone, don't worry about your phone, that's okay. I've got one as well, but it hasn't gone off yet. You needed to get a good start and you did that.
Oh, yeah, awesome start, and just held him out into the first turn, and perfect, it was awesome, yeah, perfect that was.
Todd and Emmanuel, brilliant weekend. Let's sum it all up. 3 victories, 75 points, championship lead, and smashing the lap record all over the place. What a weekend.
Yeah, it's been fantastic for us. It's nice to come here. It's a lovely meeting that Roger puts on here every year with the revival. It's such a chilled out atmosphere, and it helps you ride better when you're chilled out and that, and it's only local to home, and yeah, it's lovely to have the 3 wins, but I come here for that lap record and that fastest sidecar lap, so yeah, I'm well happy to take that home with me.
Emmanuel, this is like nothing you've ever ridden before. You've been to Cadwell before, of course, but do you like it as a track?
Oh yeah, I really like it, and we had the sun all the weekend, lap record, 3 wins, so it's just a perfect weekend for us, so we are really happy.
Well, there it is. That's an impressive lead. 11 points over the Christies for Ellis and Clement. Blackstock, Rosny, they've got work to do, as I've said. But Thruxton marks the halfway stage. There's a long, long way to go. A lot of racing and double points at Brands. Archer in 5th, Robinson 6th. Great podium, great atmosphere, great event. We're at Thruxton next. I'm not standing by the Has-Beens outfit for any other reason other than the fact we've had a brilliant Cadwell revival here. The 4th time this superb event has taken place in glorious sunshine all weekend, and we move on literally in a few days to the next round at Thruxton. That will be a totally different ball game, everything to play for.